Thank you for being with us in the 24/7 grind on another dope segment, Hours with the Elders, where we bridge the gap of information, experience, and wisdom, dropping gems and jewels for those who are committed to making a difference in their communities.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone?
Good evening. Good evening.
Glory to his name.
Amen.
Mr. General,
Good evening. Good evening.
Popping. Good evening,
how are
everybody. Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
Like a big dog. All right. So the guest today is Mike, Star in the Ghetto Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Without no further ado.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hello.
Good evening.
hello?
What's
How
happening?
are
What's
you?
happening?
Doing good, doing good. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Mr. Mike
Thank you so
Robbins, the
much for coming,
601
brother.
band,
That's right, that's right.
20, what was it, 2019 Jackson Music Awards.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. 601 is Jackson, Mississippi.
That's right.
All right, representing the South.
Always.
Love
I
it.
am a Southern boy.
All right.
That's
Where you
Southern
hailing from?
Soul.
Where you hailing from, Mr. Mike?
Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, only about I think maybe 2 hours and 45 minutes away from y'all.
About three and a half to be exact. I was born in Jackson, but New Orleans is home.
Okay.
I still got family in Jackson on Hanging Moss.
Oh, North End. I got you.
Yeah. And my grandmother, my great grandmother rather, lived out where we still own the land on my father's side out in Lexington.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know about the area.
All right.
All right,
Mr. Mike
Mr.
Rob.
Mike. So tell us how it is growing up 2.5 hours away from New Orleans. Is it country? Is it quiet? Is it violent? Y'all living like that? Let us know your upbringing and your experience coming up in Jackson, Mississippi, Mr. Mike.
Man, Jackson is a little bit of everything, man. Of course, any urban city, you got bad parts everywhere. So, but there's so many good things going on, so much culture from the food, from the little mom and pop shops, from the music. I was blessed to grow up and singing background for a bunch of phenomenal artists that never really made it, but they were a huge influence on my life. So everything around, you pretty much get some of everything in Jackson. It's a melting pot of culture.
Now, I seen one of those influences was Johnny Taylor. Now, I'm asking myself, is he even old enough to be on the same stage with Johnny Taylor?
Listen, let me tell you how it happened. So I just turned 50 in October. All right. So let's start there. So back in the early to mid 90s, I was singing background for Dorothy Moore. Not sure if y'all familiar with her, but she recorded the song Misty Blue. She's from Jackson. So I was singing background for her. And my first show with her was in Indianapolis, and Johnny Taylor was on the ticket. And that was my first time actually seeing Johnny Taylor live. But I was a fan before that because my daddy was a huge Johnny Taylor fan. So he had all his records. So I would play Johnny Taylor records since I was a kid. So I've always loved Johnny Taylor.
So you
Always.
grew up on music.
Absolutely.
Is
My
that what
dad,
inspired you to want to become an artist yourself?
um, That happened. I don't know if y'all remember when Michael Jackson first performed Billie Jean on Motown 25.
And he done the moonwalk.
That performance changed my
Changed your
life.
life.
That is what I wanted to do. After I saw that performance, I had the
Yeah.
VCR tape, and I played that VCR tape over and over and over again.
Well,
You was into
I must
dancing
agree
too?
with you. There hasn't been an award show like that one since.
It hasn't. It really hasn't. It really
It
hasn't.
really has.
That was epic. That was epic.
You were into
It
dancing
definitely
too?
was.
You were into dancing too? You say you watched that tape, so I know you was moonwalking.
I was moonwalking. Listen, I used to try to dance like Michael Jackson. My brother was older than me, and he would take me to his high school dances when I was in the elementary school, early middle school, and they form a circle around me, and I'd be dancing like Michael Jackson at an early age. So I've been a performer for a while.
Okay.
You know, you can't get me to dance a whole lot now. Back then, yeah,
I was about to ask you
I was
that.
like that then.
Okay, I was
I
about
was
to ask
like that.
you.
You know,
Your birthday in October. October when? I'm October baby too.
October 26th, Scorpio Nation.
Oh, I'm Libra.
You missed it. Oh, that's fine.
He
It's
said
fine.
you missed it. He said you missed it. In case we didn't introduce myself, this is Mr. OG Los, Miss
Okay.
Dorothy Harris, and my name is Regine Barlow.
Great
And
to
we're
meet y'all.
co-host of Alva with the Elders, and we thank you so much for being a part on today. But let me ask
Absolutely.
you this. Let's drill back for just a moment because
Okay.
a lot of famous people have come from Mississippi.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So as you tell us a little bit about how Mike Robb grew up,
Hmm.
and were your I don't want to say it, your lineage, or does your pedigree whisper any of those people that are famous that came from the bloodline in Mississippi somewhere, like Canton, Mississippi? A lot of the gospel singers come from there.
Right.
Does your bloodline follow any of those that we may know from the past?
Uh, Probably not. However, my grandfather, Mr. Zebedee Robinson, sang with the gospel group way back when, before any of the gospel groups were even singing with music. They were all a cappella groups. He sang with this group called the Heavenly Gospels from Jackson. Now I've looked it up. There were maybe like 4 Heavenly Gospel groups across the country, but this particular Heavenly Gospel group was from Jackson. There's a couple of YouTube videos on them as well. So yeah, um, so the lineage is there, just not one of those famous famous people that you may be thinking of, but the pedigree is definitely there. So my grandfather sang gospel. My father, he liked to sing James Brown songs in the talent shows at high school, and he always told me how I wish I could sing as he said, as pretty as him. But so it was always competition thing between me and him. So yeah, so the pedigree is definitely there.
Being named a male vocalist, was that a surprise to you? Awarded
It
for
was
male vocalist?
it was a complete surprise because at the time, actually it happened in 2017 and 2019. At the time it happened, um, I was doing shows, but I was actually doing more managing at that time than I was, performing as Mike Robb. So it was a complete surprise, total surprise. So yeah, it was a great moment, a great
Right,
moment.
What is
Just to be recognized by your peers.
right.
what is the core of your music? Is there any particular genre, or are you across the board when it comes to the music you produce? And what are some of your what are some of your inspirations? Where do you gather your songwriting from?
Well, quite honestly, you all know about how I feel about Johnny Taylor, but Gerald Levert is probably one of my biggest influences.
Mhm.
When he passed away, I really felt like a close relative had died, and I went into mourning for a while behind Gerald's death. So when I perform, a lot of my performances, a lot of my music that I sing, and my singing style, you will hear a combination of Gerald Levert, Johnny Taylor. I just kind of take all of them and create my own style. But the core are those particular artists, Ollie Woodson, Dennis Edwards, those type singers. The really strong masculine singers are the ones that I like to pattern myself after.
Do you have a strong gospel upbringing from your childhood? Did you sing in the choir growing up?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cliche as most of us did, especially coming up in Mississippi. We all had to join the choir. We whether we wanted to or not, we had to be in the choir. So
Yeah.
so after, and joining the male choir, we did a lot of quartet gospel, a lot of canton spirituals, Southern airs. So of course, I drew from all of that as well.
I know a lot of times people see you now on the stage, but for those
Mhm.
inspiring artists, performing artists, where did Mike Robb start?
Mike Robb started in the. I like to tell everybody I started in 5th grade. You remember I told you about the Michael Jackson
Right.
dancing? I was picking me and some other guys to do a talent show, and we all danced to Billie Jean. And I'm standing there, had my sunglasses on, my glove. The curtains opened up, and all the little girls started screaming. And I like to say that's what created
Right.
the monster that we know as Mike Robb now. So that's what created that monster. So through the years, of course, I'm singing. I tried to rap for a little while. Had a whole different stage name that shall not be named, and that of course didn't work out. So I started managing a group. But I was always singing background for different people. Like I said, Dorothy Moore. There's a gentleman here named Henry Rose. There was a phenomenal female vocalist named Patrice Munsell back in the day. Absolutely loved her. She was like our mom growing up. She took us under her wing, cussed us out a few times, told us what we were doing right, what we were doing wrong. And I started managing some guys called Compositions. They're a local group. Well, actually, they're more of a regional group. They traveled around the country doing a Motown review. And so as they were doing that, that bug kind of got in me. Like I think I could do this myself. So recorded a couple of songs. I put a band together and started doing shows on my own. So that's kind of where it all got started, and here we are today. So I'm
Did you
probably I
go
couldn't say
ahead.
again.
I'm
I'm
about to ask you
probably
a
probably doing about I guess 30 35 to 40 weekends out of the year on the road doing the corporate market, local spots around here, doing original music, doing cover tunes. So I do a little bit of everything. At one point in time I was doing a reggae gig, so I do a little bit of everything.
Does the
Did you ever
city
have
of
your own
Jackson
solo
embrace you?
moment?
Go ahead,
Oh,
sis.
I'm
Did you
sorry.
ever have your own solo moments?
My own solo moments.
Yeah, before you started your band.
uh a few, yeah. I've so Dorothy used to let me open up some of the shows when we were on the tour sometimes. I've always, just kind of sang around the clubs a little bit. So I had quite a few solo moments. Learned a lot. Got booed a couple times, so I learned what not to do as well. It's been a
Tell us about
crazy journey.
tell us about that moment. Because we
Oh,
don't think about when we see performers, we think everything is electric and going well for you. We never really hear about the boo.
oh,
So what
oh
was
no!
the boo moment, and then what was the lesson learned?
I remember that like it was yesterday. So I was in this club um, to hear Patrice Munsell, the lady I just told you about. So I was just in the audience, just there to hear her, because wherever she was performing, I go listen. But she knew I sang as well because I'd sang background for her on a number of occasions. So I'm not sure why she had to go off stage, but somebody was outside that she really needed to talk to, apparently. She brought me the mic and said, sing this song. And at the time, the band was playing Happy Feelings by Frankie Beverly and Mays. So she put the microphone in my hand, so I was under pressure. So I got up and tried to sing the song in her key. Now, she's a female, and I'm a male trying to sing in her key. It did not go well at all. So when that performance was over, there were boos coming from the audience, literally.
Also,
So
happy feelings.
happy feelings. So one major thing I learned: don't try to sing somebody else's set. I should have stopped the band and told them to play a song I was more comfortable with. But I tried to sing the song that she was getting ready to do, and it went terribly wrong.
So let me ask you
So
this. Could you have sang it just in your key and it would have been okay?
it would have been okay because I knew the song, and I've sang the song a number of times. It's just that in her key, way too high for me. I didn't understand the concept of lowering keys to songs at that point in time. I was still learning. I was still green. So yeah, it happened.
Back to the city of Jackson supporting you. What is that like for you?
Oh man, this is my city, man. I love the people, and the people, they show me a lot of love. Whenever I do shows, they come out, they support. A lot of pats on the back, and, a lot of social media comments, about how good the shows were. They really come out.
Do you give back to the city from a philanthropic aspect? A lot of artists, when they get on and they get a little name, they don't oftentimes they don't give back to their cities as much as they say they will once they get that name and that image and that status.
Right.
And being from that area, having lived there for a little bit after Katrina, I know the disparity that's there firsthand personally.
Right.
How does that affect you as an artist?
I didn't hear the last thing you said.
How does that affect you as an artist as far as inspiration and wanting to give back to the city?
The main thing, well, first of all, let's start here. I'll be honest with you, only a few occasions am I actually asked to do anything to that I think is a cause. So I have an event coming up that I do for the homeless each year on National Homeless Day.
Okay.
We do that show. And certain things around, community events, I've been known to show up for those events as well. So yeah. Things that happen around the community affect all of us. So I feel like we all have to try to do our part. So yeah, it affects me, but I stay quiet a lot. I kind of sit and watch, and I go where I'm asked. I'll say that.
Does that play a part in your music and song development as well? Seeing those disparities in Jackson, being from there, knowing firsthand, what the people are going through and the effects that it has.
I have to say yes, because I write love songs. I sing about love, and I try to uplift people through love. So that's how it influences my music and my art.
Okay, gotcha.
What?
Go ahead, sis.
Okay. Your band called 601 or 601. Why is it called the 601 band? And are y'all childhood friends?
No, that's the area code of Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So when I first started doing the corporate market, booking agents would tell me, you know, might come up with a name, but try not to use soul or funk, or, you know, try to represent Mississippi. So I didn't want to just say Mississippi, whatever. So I used 601 specifically because that's specifically the area that I'm from. Because, you know, we have area code 228, we have area code 662, but 601 is specifically Central Mississippi. That's who I am.
So let me ask you, why not use those particular descriptive words to describe the essence of
Quite
the band?
quite honestly, I couldn't think of anything that had a ring to it with the word Mississippi. I'll be honest with you. Is nothing deep about it. So
Okay. Okay.
601 is cool because it's unique and you represent with your area. You know, that's I
right.
like. Yeah.
Exactly. Now the problem is since let me see, I put that band together um in 2009.
Okay.
And since then, I think two other bands around the city have popped up using the tag 601 as well. So
Oh
we've
What did you
wow.
argued
do that?
we've argued back and forth a few times, but it is what it is.
Y'all didn't stamp that name, but they couldn't do that.
Not at the time. I did not. I did not. And so at this point, and the reason I didn't, so most of my successes come on the corporate market, and they haven't trickled over into that market yet because they don't do that type of music. So anytime I'm doing my original stuff, it's strictly under Mike Robb. I dropped the 601 band and it's strictly Mike Robb.
So I see you.
Outside of music, are there any other business ventures that you are a part of? Anything else that you're into outside of music? Who are you?
Oh man, I have an 8 to 5 that I go to every day. So
So eight
Mike,
to five.
yeah. So Michael Robinson from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday is a banker. So then on you know after 5 and on the weekends I'm Mike Robb.
Okay.
So yeah,
What is your
you
most
know
memorable performance?
my most memorable performance.
Mm.
Um, I'd have to say I released I don't know if you guys have heard the song Soul Tie that I released last summer. Um, I put together a single release party. It's the first and only time that I've ever did an entire single release party. And you know, I wasn't sure because the song had just come out and I hadn't released anything prior to that in a while. And so, you know, I wasn't sure what kind of draw I was going to have for that particular single. But as it turned out, people came out. It was packed. People showed a lot of love, and you know, a lot of times when I get big crowds, it's for the venues where I have to do other people's music. But this particular night, I was doing my music. You know, an hour of 80% Mike Robb's music, and the people loved it. They showed love, so I think that's probably my most memorable moment because people were there to see and hear Mike Robb specifically, not Mike Robb sing Johnny Taylor, not Mike Robb sing Teddy Pendergrass. They were there to hear Mike Robb.
You
So
signed some
that's my
autographs
most.
that night.
Say again now.
You signed some autographs that night.
Took a lot of pictures. Didn't sign any autographs, but I took a lot of pictures.
So
But it was a great night.
I
That's
know
awesome.
that we always there's a business side
Oh
to
yeah.
your career, your passion, your love in the music industry.
Hmm.
Talk to those inspiring. What is the business side of this? I mean, you know, you talked about setting up the 601 band in 2009. What does
Yeah.
it take to partner with other people and be consistent with those that you partner with, that they have a commitment to show up like you show up, and the business side of the things you have to take care of? Talk to them about what happens behind the scenes.
Well, to be completely real, um, first of all, nobody is going to believe in your dream like you. Like, this is my dream. Mike Robb and the 601 band is my dream. I'm the manager, marketing director, sometime the driver, sound guy, everything. Everybody else is pretty much contracted, and they have their own interests in mind. Now, don't get me wrong, they believe in what we're doing. I got some great musicians working for me. They're all professionals. um if I ask them to do something, they're more than willing to do it, but the business has to be right. And that's one thing I take pride in. If I tell you I'm going to do something business wise, I'm going to do it. And that's my reputation. Nobody ever has to wonder if they're going to get paid. Nobody ever has to wonder if the accommodations are going to be right, because I'm going to take care of all of that on the front end. And I tell people, people are always concerned about being gypped out of money or anything like that. I have never had those problems because everything starts with the paperwork. Now, I'm not saying I haven't made all the right decisions, but I understood that, okay, I signed that paperwork. This is what
Make
it
sure
is.
ethics and integrity are involved.
Right. I have to deal with this because I signed this. And so I'll just learn from that and know that, the next go round, we're going to have a few more stipulations involved. So everything starts and ends with paperwork.
The general wants you to know we about to play Soul Tide.
Awesome.
Okay. I think I know that song though.
And speaking of that, where can people find your music? What music platforms are you on?
All platforms: Amazon, Apple, Pandora, YouTube. They can find it everywhere.
Okay.
After that. You could sing for us too.
I like hearing the song.
So, as we're checking out the song, what would you tell inspiring artists in your area
In regards to,
in regards to trying to get into the music industry and the dark side of it, as well as the good side, because they need to know both. From experience shows us that if you aren't educated about your gift, your talent, your craft, you can get
yeah,
sucked into the dark side of the industry pretty quickly, and it can be
it's
very
easy to do.
dramatic.
It's easy to do. Yeah, just know. I would always tell them, know your worth first and foremost. Um, you know, a lot of bad habits, a lot of bad things are easily accessible in this business. So you just have to be strong enough and stay prayed up and keep your spirit intact, and not fall victim to those things. We all mess up, we all slip up, but just you know prayerfully you'll have enough in you that you won't go too far into the darkness that you can't come back out.
Can you explain to them how important it is to know the business aspect of music as well as focusing on the God-given gift and talent itself?
Well, the talent part is easy because, like you said, that's God given. but you have to read, you have to study, you have to talk to people who have been there before, who've been through the fire, been through the fire and been through the good. But definitely talk to people that have been through the fire, because you can learn a lot from them, because they can give you advice on what not to do. I have a lot of mentors um, in this business, and a lot of them are former drug and alcohol addicts. So, I look at them and they tell me, Mike, you don't want to do this. You don't want to go down this path. So I try to tell, the youngsters call me Unc now. So I try to tell them, as best I can, what I think that they should and shouldn't do. Now, like I said, I'm not perfect. I still got a lot of learning to do myself, but I'm constantly trying to learn. And so it's always something to learn. It's always information to know.
What is the importance of having a general basic knowledge of
Don't do it like that, Mr.
contracts,
Mike. All right, Mr. Mike.
or
What's
having a
appreciate?
lawyer that can guide you
Hold up.
in what you're about to sign or not sign, for that matter?
Oh, when it comes to contracts, you always need to have a lawyer on your team, because um, there's language in those contracts that there is no way you can understand it if you're not educated in the field of law. So you definitely have to have somebody on your team, somebody on your squad that can decipher those contracts and break them down to you in layman's terms, and let you know exactly what it's saying, because you can get tripped up really easily. Um, and honestly, depending on the attorney you have, make sure you get somebody with some experience
Mm.
that knows what to look for.
So why do we always take shortcuts if we need all of this to protect us? Why do we take so many shortcuts?
Money. I mean, you can only go as far as your capital, your working capital. So, shortcuts may not be intentional, but sometimes they may be necessary, but you just have to hope it works out.
So being a banker by day, and based off of the piggybacking off of your reply to Reggie's question, can you explain to the people how important, um, just in general, but especially as an artist looking to grow your brand, your name, how important it is to invest in yourself, invest in your brand, if you will?
Oh, it's very important, because, like I said earlier, nobody's going to believe in you like you believe in you. You have to be willing to take a chance on yourself. Especially younger artists. When I was coming up, we didn't have social media. We had to, try to track somebody down and give them a 8x10 glossy with the bio and a cassette tape with a demo that you made on a 4-track, and try to make it happen that way. I hope that somebody hears you, that likes you and wants to sign you. But now with social media, I tell everybody now, if I was coming up during the age of social media, I'd probably be a millionaire, because I had that drive and that energy then. At 50, you kind of slow down, and kind of
Yeah.
that dancing turns into a two-step, and you may not sing as
Right.
many fast songs now. But shoot, man, if I had social media back then, oh my God, we were hungry back then. We were trying to sing everywhere and for everybody, just so we can be seen. But now, with computers and phones, you can put yourself anywhere. And it's important, to have a good idea of marketing and social media, which I'm still trying to work on. So um, you have to put yourself out there. You have to market yourself. You have to work on your brand. You can't be seen doing stuff that would turn people off. You have to carry yourself a certain way, because that all speaks to your brand.
Say that again. Say that again real slow. Say that again real. Just say it again for the people real slow.
You have to be careful of where you are and what you're doing, because it all speaks to the brand. I mean,
I swear I
people.
don't care nothing about that. I swear I don't. I swear I don't.
Yeah, that sounds like some inside stuff going on that I'm gonna back away from right there.
You know,
Playing.
you hear a lot of people say like R&B is dead from back in the days when that music gave a message like your music. And we used to have a message with all the music. Johnny Taylor, Lenny Williams, you know,
Yep.
Joe
Yep.
Simon, Otis Red, and all these good old people. It says dead. But do you see? Because I see a lot of youngsters, some youngsters coming back with that same good music and giving a message. I don't know if you ever heard of like Anthony Q, Uncle Daddy, Realist, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's out there. It's so much out there. It just does not get the love from radio and a lot of different platforms like it should. You have to actually be looking for it. But there are some great R&B vocalists that are out there trying to make it happen. But it's hard. You know, I was listening to I was watching Music Choice, and I heard some young R&B artists with some songs that were just absolute fire. Then I go to YouTube and see that they only had like 100 and something views. I'm like, how is this even possible? But it's just the fact that, you know, radio and honestly, the newer generation of listeners, they don't show love to real R&B. And you know, and you know, me and my daughter had a debate. She's 20, and I just took her to see Janae Aiko over the weekend in Atlanta, so, which is her favorite artist. But I tell her, you know, I'm not feeling a lot of the newer R&B, because once you've heard the first minute of the song, you've pretty much heard the whole song. You know, you don't feel anything anymore. You know, R&B that I love and that I grew up on, you felt somebody into that song. You were either mad, laughing, or crying, one or the other.
But you
You
went
know,
on
but
a journey. But you went on a journey.
you went on an emotional journey with that artist on that song. Now everything is just it's just straight ahead. You know, once,
That
Do
like I
you
said,
think
music
that
was
as
that
an
song
artist, do
for
you
the mood
think
she was in.
I say again now. I'm sorry.
I said they had a song for any mood you was in. Happy, sad, baby,
You
man,
didn't
whatever the
Mhm.
mood, they had that
you didn't
song.
have to say a
They
word. You
have
didn't
the
have to say a
song?
word. Just put the song on.
Right. Now, do you think, as an artist, do you think that's an agenda today? Because it's not just, I tell people, if they pay attention, it's not just hip hop that has become degenerate and derogatory. The R&B today has too. You
Um,
know,
no, I won't necessarily say as it pertains to R&B. Now, I don't listen to a lot of rap, so as it pertains to R&B, I won't necessarily say it's an agenda, because I listen to the kids and they call it vibe music. It's just the evolution of R&B. You know, everything changes. Like, you know, my parents didn't like the R&B I listened to. Their parents didn't like the R&B they listened to. It's just the evolution of things. Honestly, I think that's my opinion. So
So that
I
well,
don't really think
And
it's an
one minute we
agenda.
were hearing something special of
yep.
yours.
Let's hear something special.
1 minute we're gonna hear something special of yours.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So when they're saying that's a vibe, they're talking about the song.
Yeah, yeah, they're talking about the song. It's a vibe. It's vibe music.
Hey,
We don't.
as an elder, I'm always interested in how the language evolves, you know?
Right, right, right.
I wanna talk to you just for a minute. We've got some things to talk about and work it out. If you are willing, oh, 'cause we've got something special. I believe that we've got something special.
Are these songs written?
We've got something special. Yeah, baby. We've got something special. Now you don't just throw a good love away. 'Cause if it's real love, it's gonna survive all the bad times and all the good times.
Is all the music with live band?
Um, yeah, that one in Soul Tie. Yeah, it was with live instruments.
How important is it for live music versus the IA world, as we want to say?
Oh man, so like I said, you talk to an old head. So live instruments are everything for me. It just gives a certain feeling, you know.
Why was your rap career cut?
What now? I'm sorry.
Why was your rap career cut?
Because I sucked. That's why I was terrible.
Thinking it was
Oh man.
100.
that that's the plain and simple of that. I sucked.
Right.
Someone was saying that this is Saturday morning cleaning vibe right here.
Yeah.
But I was thinking Friday night in the cafe with a scotch and a cigarette. That's what I was thinking.
Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
it can go either way, you know. Drink scotch or champagne or one or the other.
You know when the ice is cling, cling, cling,
Oh
cling.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that real laid back vibe to it. I like that.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm gonna listen to it all when I get off.
So
And
how did you get
you
into
say your music can be found on all streaming platforms.
Absolutely.
Do you prefer live instrumentation over studio recording?
Yes, I do. I do.
What do you feel the difference is, other than it being more pure, more raw, the sound?
Um, the energy from the live audience. The energy from the live audience. That's the biggest difference. The studio is one thing. It's more challenging to perform in the studio. You know, just being in the booth because you don't have any energy coming back
Right.
at you. You
Now I
know.
was going to ask you that during
That sounds
live
like
performance with live instrumentation, do you think there's a spiritual connection, a spiritual energy that plays a major factor in that?
It has to be, man. It absolutely has to be because the feeling that you feel when you're on the stage and you hear them drums break down behind you, it just sends a chill through your body. So it has to be, absolutely.
tell us about your casino performance because I know that's some live energy.
Oh man, I'll do a Maristar casino in Vicksburg, Mississippi, probably about once a quarter, and that room, that energy, that vibe is just absolutely amazing because it's everybody partying together. You know, in the clubs, it'll be all black people, or in the wedding receptions, the corporate market, it'll be all white people. But in the casino, everybody's partying together. It's like being on Frenchman. It's like being on Frenchman. Everybody's in the same place partying together, and it's all love. So that's
You
that's
ever
the
tried
best part
Harris?
about the casino market, huh?
You ever tried Harris in New Orleans? Because I know they always had the live bands be it in Harris in New Orleans.
New Orleans is like the hardest nut to crack. Oh my God, it's hard to get on in New Orleans, man.
Don't give up. Don't give
And
up.
I'm not giving up. I've done some corporate events over in New Orleans, quite a few of them. But to get on Frenchman, because that's why I'd rather be Frenchman instead of Bourbon. To be
Yeah.
on Frenchman, or to get the casino gigs down there, or some of the Tipitinas,
Right.
or clubs down there. It's tough. It's hard. It's almost impossible. But I understand. It's kind of like Memphis. So I say that some of the best musicians come in the world come from Memphis and New Orleans.
Okay.
And it's because it's so many great musicians, great bands. So I get it to reach over to Jackson, Mississippi to pull one. You can just throw a rock in any direction, hit a good band in New Orleans. 'Cause I've heard plenty of them.
Give him a demo.
Say again now?
Give him a demo. Leave him a demo. Listen to this here.
Y'all still
Give him
trying to get
one.
me to sing on this live stream, huh? Do y'all understand? I'm slick to the game. I know what y'all trying to do.
Well, I was there, and I was gonna say too. You know, you never know how God is going to work it out. You
You
know,
Right.
never
somebody
know.
see this podcast.
Somebody might have a party, oldest but goodest party. We need him.
He done
All
said he
right.
gonna play your song Soul Power in 10 minutes.
Whole power.
So I just released a Southern Soul song actually called "Let's Get Married." It's a
Okay.
Southern Soul / blues song. I'm trying to get out there now. It's on YouTube as well. It's on YouTube, Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon Music right now.
Well,
Um,
no better time than to promote it right here with us and sing a little piece of it.
She's
What is
specific.
your inspiration
she
for the
is
song come
she
from?
is relentless. Absolutely relentless. Now, okay, listen. Okay, so I give you a little bit. I haven't warmed up or anything, so we're gonna see how this goes. I wanna take this opportunity to tell you that I love and I appreciate you. Girl, you're so amazing. I wanna be the best man that I can, 'cause I know it makes you happy, baby. And that's all that matters, baby. Now, when I met you, I can tell you were the one I would spend my whole life pleasing, baby. And you're the reason, baby. You were a cutie with a sexy little booty. And I knew I had to have you, baby. You would be my lady. Gonna catch a star and put it on your finger, baby. I'm gonna make you my wife. Let's get married, yeah. And start a family, yeah. It would make me, baby, as happy as can be. All right, there you go.
That's
And you
cool.
know,
I love that. That's good.
that's gonna be the one. So
I
make
love
sure
that.
you call Peanut back when this is the one that got you in New Orleans.
I
I
most definitely will be
and you
do
know,
just that, and I owe it all to y'all.
And
and
look,
a
come
lot of
back
people
on the show and tell us all about it. You
somebody
understand?
gonna get
I
engaged off that song. Somebody gonna get engaged off that song. You gonna see them singing that song to their woman.
Well, let's hope so. That's the plan. That was the plan.
I love that. That's nice.
That's the first song, the first for real song that I ever wrote. That's the
Mm.
first
What
one.
inspired it? What inspired that song for you?
Um, I don't know. I was already married at the time, so sometimes I'll take experiences that people tell me about. It won't always be my story.
Right.
It could be other people's experiences that just inspire me to write. You know, and that was one of them.
Okay.
That was one of them.
Tina say he playing that song in 5 minutes. Let's get married.
Absolutely.
Mike Rob,
Love
y'all
it.
go out and get it. Go out and get it. Y'all heard a part of it from him. Now go out and get it.
Mike
Please
Ross
go out and
and
support.
601 band
Yes.
out of Jackson, Mississippi. This is who
That's
we're
right. That's
talking
right.
Other than
about
other than
today.
on Facebook, where can they find your pages, your social
Well,
media page?
you can go to actually everything funnels to my website, MikeRobin601band.com, and you can find the Twitter, Instagram, and X. I'm sorry, I'm aging myself. X, Instagram, and the Facebook pages. Also, you can contact me directly through that website,
Okay.
MikeRobin601band.com.
So you do private parties and all of that?
All of that, whatever somebody paying me for, I will do it.
So I'm
Traveling?
listening. I'm listening to all the. In my mind. I'm time management sensitive,
Uh-huh.
and I know how it is to be driven by passion.
Yes.
And you have family, and you have
Yes.
yourself, and you have
Yes.
things going on, and you have the 601 band and Mike
Hmm.
Rob.
Uh-huh.
Who is the real person? What is the real person outside of your persona? And where do you find the time to create balance? Is there a work-life balance for you?
There has to be, because I have to work, I have to perform. That's just in me. I can't not be on a stage somewhere singing. I have to. Um, but I will say this: I tell people I married the right one, because it's not easy being married to a dreamer, and I understand that. But my wife has held me down, and she's allowed me to do all of these things,
Salute to
and
the
said,
wife.
yeah. And so, she says, as long as you just give a little piece to the family,
Right.
we'll be
You
okay.
said
And
something. You said something.
what's that?
You married the right
Oh,
one.
I won. I
Um,
absolutely won. I definitely
and
married the right one, man.
you saying that I felt something. You asked God to send you her, didn't
Absolutely,
Right.
you? There it
absolutely,
is. You waited on
absolutely.
God. You
And he
didn't rush
did.
it. You
And we
waited
just
on
we
God.
just
You ain't go with what looked best to you, what was appealing to your eye. You waited on God to send you who fitted your dream. It looked
well,
like
well,
a nail.
All
well,
that go with it.
well, brother.
All that go with it.
Well,
I
brother.
mean, of course, the attraction was there. I mean, naturally. So that's first and foremost. That goes without saying.
Yeah, man. And the attraction was there first. I just grew to learn how amazing she actually was. So yeah, it just all worked out. And
That's
we've
For
all.
been
sure.
married now. We've been married now for 25 years.
All right now.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Do
Gotcha.
do she ever go on the road with you?
Man, no, she's over all this. She's been listening to me sing since 1990. She don't care about that no more. She
So he wants some
she
wild singing when you get home.
I walk around the house saying, "Boy, shut up, please." And she is not impressed anymore. But now I'm joking. She's really supportive. She'll come to the local shows, but she'll lead a road to me.
Have you ever sung directly to her at one of those local shows?
I try to, and she turns her head because she doesn't like attention. And it tickles me. It tickles me because I know it embarrasses her. So sometimes I'll walk up to her and sing intentionally because I
Mm.
know she's extremely embarrassed. I sang to her when she was walking down the aisle on our wedding day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I Yeah,
That's beautiful.
there it is.
Let's Get Married by Mike Robb.
Oh, baby, baby, baby. I wanna take this opportunity to tell you that I love you
Mike, we can put your music on repeat at the barbecue, brother.
Hey man, that's what it was made for, man. I'm hoping a line dance come out this thing.
It probably will. Now,
Hey
it kind of remind me of Johnny Cash.
Gonna make you my wife.
Let's Get Married, y'all, by Mike Rob. I don't know that backyard barbecue. Put that music on. Y'all create your own bus stop. Do you getting that tattoo on it?
And I'll be there just to please you. I'll
And as we're listening, Rob, I took a look at your website. You do weddings,
Yeah.
do galas, he does concerts, he does festivals, corporate events, fundraisers, receptions, and private parties
Yep.
as well. Anything else that's really not described there?
No, that's everything. That kind of covers it all because we'll do it all.
And how long you say you've been singing out? 25, 30 years?
Uh, uh, 1989 is when I did my first show.
Wow,
So a long time.
long time.
So
That was a train wreck.
going through the years from startup to now,
Uh huh.
how did the COVID pandemic compare to all of the other years that affected your music career or the music industry?
Well, COVID kind of shut everything down. So that's where I had the benefit of having that 8 to 5 that I told you about because I had friends that were full time musicians that they were trying to find any kind of job they could, um, and so it was really rough on a lot of them because of they have families as well. So if they didn't have any residual like live recordings that they could make royalties off of, if they were just depending on their live shows, they were struggling. But
Struggling.
fortunately, I have my daytime gig, you know, so I was able to keep the lights on um, like that. But people, so on the corporate market, people were still trying to have wedding receptions. They just move them outside. So they was, I felt the hit, but I wasn't as affected as some of my peers
Had
Did
you
because
that
of
help you as far as your music being streamed because you could still generate income that way as well through your music sales?
yeah, well, it was mostly from the live performance. I'll keep it a buck. I keep it a buck with you. Streaming, pays probably like 4 thousandths of a cent, and it's really tough unless you streaming millions and millions of
Talk
uh,
about
of
that. Talk
copies,
about that
man.
for a second. Let's stay right there. Would you recommend to a new and upcoming artist the streaming platform? Is it really beneficial for artists to use streaming platforms? And do you think artists were better off with the CD era versus the streaming era?
I definitely think they were better off with the CD era because you could hand somebody something physical and make your money that way. You made all of the money from that. Um, However, it's so with Let's Get Married. I'm really trying to experiment because I didn't put Let's Get Married on as many streaming platforms as I did with the other music, just because I wanted to kind of see, what would be the difference as far as sales, as far as spins. So I will say this. I will say streaming is beneficial because you can get more people listening. Therefore, more people may ask you to come perform live, and you can make your money that way.
Okay.
That's how I would say the streaming is beneficial. But if you're a new artist just coming out the gate and you plan on making a whole lot of money on streams, um, it's tough.
Don't count
It's
on it.
it's tough. It's
Mhm.
not impossible. It just depends on the work that you put in it. Um, but it's tough. I would say try to do it while you're new in the game, while you're young. And I tell people once you start getting older in this business, start having families, I tell people responsibilities kills dreams. So it takes a really strong person to have a family and just come out the gate and try to make this happen. So I tell people you really, really need to do it while you're young, because once you start having a family, you have to have multiple streams of income so that you can maintain your household. I have a 20-year-old daughter who's in college, so if the music isn't pulling enough money, I have to make up for that. I can't just say, well, if it comes, it comes. No, yeah, I have to make it happen any way I can.
Right.
Along your journey, have you ever had times that you felt like giving up or quitting it, the music?
Oh, all the time. This business will break your heart.
Mm-hmm.
This business will absolutely break your heart, because you think that what you have, like your last single, you think your last single is the hottest thing out there, but the sales say otherwise.
Right.
Come on.
So this business will break your heart. That's why I will. At one point in time, it was years before I recorded some songs, because the last one I had such high expectations and it didn't come to fruition. And so it's discouraging. I tell people to be an entertainer is like you putting yourself on a pedestal. You putting yourself on a pedestal and you're saying, hey, judge me. I'm letting all y'all judge me to my face.
Right.
And I have to be willing to take all of that, good or bad.
I never looked at it.
Yeah. So you putting yourself on a pedestal. So sometimes you get knocked off of it pretty hard. And it might take you a while to get back up, but the thing is you have to keep getting up. So at this point, if I'm recording music, it's not necessarily to say, okay, this song is going to be the one that takes me out of here. But music or recordings immortalizes you. So my great grandkids are going to be able to find something that has my voice on it when I'm long gone.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Independent or industry?
I would pick independent every time. Because you have more control, and I'm a little bit of a control freak. So I like to have control. Like I said before, back in the day, we tried to get deals for the distribution, but now you can distribute yourself on multiple ways. They're not giving those.
Would you say today the industry is almost a downfall or maybe a stumbling block for the artists?
It really depends. It really depends on the deal that they give you. Like I said, everything is determined by the paperwork. That advance, if they give you a big enough advance, that's nice. That's really nice. If you can manage to keep some publishing, that's even better. What publishing?
Yes, because that's pretty much the bulk of your money. That's your masters, right?
Exactly. So whether I'm making money off of it or down the road somebody else remakes it, I can still make that money as well.
So if they remake your masters, you still get paid.
I do.
Okay, that's good.
Now you talked about an advance. If they give you an advance, and that's what a lot of people hear, that advance money, but then talk about what you need to do to get in the black or break even once because basically an advance is upfront money.
Don't blow it. Don't blow it. Go in, do what you're supposed to do. Try to find some people that can help you do it for as low cost as possible. Don't blow it.
They recoup all of that, right?
They have to recoup all of that. Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh man, I was about to ask you something. It slipped my mind. It'll come back to me.
You could. Why don't you try to make your own bus stop? So when you be playing that "Let's Get Married," you be doing your own bus stop, and the people gonna want to do it because they see you doing it.
It may be in the works. We gonna keep that hush hush for a second.
All right.
It may be in the works.
Sound like
Working
a
on some things.
going
Wow,
viral.
Mike.
Going viral.
We got to figure out how to make it go viral.
Us
That's the
Southern
next
people
plan.
love the bus stop. We love the bus stops.
So that's what y'all call it down there, the bus
Yeah,
stop.
what y'all
Because
call it?
we call it line dancing over here. It's a line dance.
Okay.
Uh-huh. We're getting ready to play Soul Power.
Soul power? No.
What did he have on? So I'm sorry. Yes, Soul Power in 2 minutes.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That he said that's not him. That's not you.
Tell him, tell him, don't play that because I don't know what that is.
Tell him don't
Okay.
play.
Tell him, pull up. I don't want to talk no more.
I don't want to.
That's a good way to go off, huh? I don't want to talk no more.
No, that's no, that's the name. That's the name of the song.
It's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. He's telling us.
No,
I don't want to
no,
talk no more.
that's literally the name of one of my singles. It made it all the way to the UK. I charted in the UK with that particular song.
Wow.
Oh man, that's hot for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know what the Soul Power song is though.
I don't want to talk.
So now we can officially say you are international artist.
Yeah, absolutely. I did an interview in the UK and everything. Well, a phone interview for the UK. It was really cool.
Wow.
It was really cool.
Have you performed? Have you and the 601 band performed over there yet?
I wish, but no, we have not.
And this is just with my little knowledge of what I hear, little clips of the music industry. A lot of people make it big outside of their own.
They do. They do.
They do in our own, you know. So
they do.
A lot of people make it big in the UK and then have to and then come back home.
Yeah.
That's because our musical culture is embraced outside of America a lot more than it is inside.
It is. It absolutely is. And it crosses more demographics over there than over here as well.
Yep. Big facts.
Yep.
How did you get into the reggae music?
You know what? That was an experiment. That was an absolute experiment. And honestly, you know where the idea came from? Mm-hmm. I saw a band at Cafe Negril and on Frenchman, and they were doing reggae. And I saw that they had a little. It wasn't all of it wasn't pure reggae. Some of it was like a reggae funk fusion kind of thing. So there was this guy that had a restaurant here. The restaurant's called Godfrey's, and his name is Godfrey. He's from Kingston, Jamaica, and he had opened up a restaurant. And I knew him from previous business relationships. So I went to him and said, "Man, what if I put together a reggae band and we come play in your spot?" And it was just something to have fun because I didn't know much about reggae then. I don't know a whole lot about reggae now. And but I put together some young guys, and we learned some reggae songs, and it kind of it took off for a little while. It was really popular around here because we were the only ones in the Tri-County area doing live reggae. Nobody else was doing it. So
You've mentioned
Frenchman cool.
Street like 3 or 4 times, 4 or 5 times here, and that's here in New Orleans.
Yes.
So for people who are not from here, or not from the South, or never lived or been to New Orleans, you keep referencing it. What is it about Frenchman Street for you that you keep referencing? What's there? Give them an idea.
So let's just start with New Orleans. I tell everybody my favorite place other than home to go to is New Orleans.
All right.
The food, the music, the culture. If I couldn't live there, because if I lived there, I'd be a homeless drunk. But I love visiting. You never close. I love visiting New Orleans, and I used to go to Bourbon Street all the time, listen to the bands there, and then somebody introduced me to Frenchmen. And what I learned about Frenchmen, the real musicians, they're on Frenchmen, in my opinion. Now, no disrespect to anybody playing on Bourbon, but it's just something different about what I heard on Frenchmen. So anytime I'm in New Orleans, I'm on Frenchmen. I go to to Port of Call on Esplanade, and then I go to Frenchman.
And it's less violence now.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, I've never worried about that because, like I said, it's bad spots everywhere. You just got to keep your head on the swivel and be careful everywhere you go.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
Jackson ain't too far behind, unfortunately.
Jackson ain't too far behind. It's but you
I
got to
know
know where to
that.
go.
We about to
Yeah.
play I Don't Want to Talk No More.
Awesome.
Okay, so you got baby making music too, huh?
I got everything, man.
That's it. I'm trying.
Oh boy. Yana said earlier that's that tell him killing, shut up, go to bed, get your behind out of here.
Is there any advice that you would want to share with anyone, the audience who's listening? Anything motivational, inspirational? Where can they find you? I know you got an upcoming schedule. Anything that you want to share while we're listening to I Don't Want to Be Talked No More?
um, always be true to yourself. Um, keep God in everything that you do, and just never give up, and things will eventually work out. It's a lot of different levels of success. You just got to figure out what your idea of success is.
How important is it? Can you tell people how important it is? I mean, pretty much you just answered it, but to just be authentically yourself when it comes to your craft and your trade. How not to allow other people to influence you off of what to change your trajectory and how you present yourself and your talent to
Yeah.
the world.
So, like I said, do what makes you feel good, do what feels right to you. Because everybody has advice on what you should do. Everybody has an opinion, but you have to
Hmm.
do what feels right to you.
To you.
Because there's a market out there for everybody. There's room for everybody. So you just have to keep, like I said, keep going, keep pushing yourself to be better and better. Just don't become complacent.
And let them know how important it is not to sell their soul for that dollar.
I can't hear you say again now.
I said, let them know how important it is not to sell their soul for that dollar.
Oh no, definitely. It's extremely important. I mean, you know, money's gonna come if you keep at it. Money's gonna come, but you know, don't do just anything just chasing a dollar. If you chase a dollar, you're gonna lose that. You're gonna lose that race every time.
Real quick. Yep.
Yeah.
We're listening to Mike Rob. I Don't Want to Talk Anymore. Mr. Rob, it was a pleasure, sir, to meet you. I know time has been well spent. Thank you
Man,
so
this was
much
a great time. Thank y'all so much. It was a pleasure meeting y'all. Pleasure talking to y'all.
It's an
Thanks
honor.
for coming on. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Let them know once again where they can find Mike Robb and the 601 band.
Once again, check us out on our website, Mike Rob and the 601band.com. There's a schedule out there. There's social media out there. You can email me. Hell, I think my phone number may even be out there. So you can find me you can find me, no doubt.
It's gonna
Mike
start
Any
with
Robin, the
you know what?
601band.com.
It's gonna start
any
with you
upcoming
know what?
shows you want to inform the people about?
Um, I got well, most of my stuff is that's coming up is private. So, but I do have a show coming up on August 24th at Social 21 Bistro. We're gonna do a tribute to Southern Soul music. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Myself, this guy named JV, and Stephanie Luckett, who are some amazing artists around here. I can't wait to get on the stage with them. August 24th.
Gotcha.
Beat him
Thank
now. Beat him now. Don't meet him now. Beat him now.
That's right. That's right. Take a road trip. Y'all come on down.
She be coming up with them.
I wish we could come down. That would be awesome.
It would.
All right. Thank you very much for being with us in the 24/7 grind in another dope segment, Hour with the Elders, where we bridge the gap of information, experience, and wisdom, dropping gems and jewels for those who are committed to making a difference in their communities. We see y'all
Thank
Friday.
y'all so much.
We thank you.
Peace.
God bless you,
God
man.
bless.
Thank you. Much success to
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. Yeah, have a good one.
All right. God
You
bless.
too.
All right.
Thank you for being with us in the 24/7 grind on another dope segment, Hours with the Elders, where we bridge the gap of information, experience, and wisdom, dropping gems and jewels for those who are committed to making a difference in their communities.